Before I was born, my father kicked my mother, trying to make her have a miscarriage. I was in a car accident and it flipped our car, and I landed in the only patch of grass around the turnpike. My mother was killed, and my grandmother told the ambulance and the news God had saved me for a reason. So my grandmother took me and my sister in. From a young age, she's always had us in church. When I was about 12, I went to a church conference. I saw people getting saved, and I wanted that in my life. I remember a pastor that was speaking at the conference and said that God is waiting on you to accept him. And that night I accepted him in my heart. I had moved to a new school, and there would be people sitting with me at the table, and they would kind of look at me funny after I would get through praying before each of one of my meals. Some of them would respect it, and others would laugh at me. So at that point, I did get kind of ashamed of it. I started playing football for their team, and I was a starting running back, and I was scoring a lot of touchdowns, and people were talking about me, and I started getting cocky. I remember my aunt telling me, remember to thank God for everything he gives you because you couldn't do it without him. And I got mad, and I said, I don't need God, I could do this on my own. And I remember the next game after that, I scored a touchdown, I fell into the end zone, and this guy speared me right in my tailbone, and I wasn't able to walk around, and I ended up not being able to play for 2 games. In that, it humbled me and showed me that I needed God and that I couldn't do it on my own like I thought I could. I was the captain of my football team, and I was looked up to by a lot of the players on the team, but I noticed that some of the guys weren't humble and everything. And I felt like through experiences that I've had that we should thank God for everything that we've done. I went to the coach and I asked him, will we be able to pray? And he felt like that was okay. I pray before every game for the entire team. There were some kids that would, laugh and snicker while we were praying. And I said, even if you don't believe, and could you at least respect? People call me Preach, some of them call me Anthony, but when people hear the name Preach, a lot of them ask me, why is your name Preach, and where'd you get the nickname from? And it just gives me an opportunity to tell them what I've been through and what God has helped me become. I share my faith with one kid who I talked out of suicide. I know now that he goes to a youth group every weekend. And one of the coaches heard that I was a Christian. He asked me, could I speak to some of the guys? I remember my grandmother saying that I was going to be able to talk to people and tell people about my faith in God. It was just a realization that God was giving me the opportunity right then, and so I needed to take advantage of it because he's putting people in my path for a reason. After I got through speaking, a lot of the kids came up to me and thanked me. One kid even started asking me questions about the Lord, and I didn't really know at the time how to help him that way, so I had to send him to one of the pastors at the youth Christian football camp, and he helped him, and that kid accepted the Lord into his heart that day.